Welcome back to our minute-to-minute analysis of Matrix Resurrections. Last time, Thomas Anderson was escorted by Bugs to an old theater where he met again with Morpheus. Morpheus wanted to test whether the person in front of him was the legendary savior or an agent of the Matrix. What happens when one finally decides to escape the system and the Matrix activates protocols to control you? Is Neo mentally ill and the Matrix never existed? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
Morpheus again offers Neo the red and the blue pill, but this time the blue pill comes with a new result description. He tells Neo that by taking the blue pill, he will return to his life, where he will be trapped in the same place, reliving the same life again and again, forever. Morpheus is probably speaking out of experience, because he was trapped inside a model that Neo had created for him, living the same situation again and again. Neo, living in a repeatable simulation forever, could point to the theory that he is not human, but a computer program, an artificial intelligence that emerged as an anomaly of the Matrix, and that the machines are keeping it subdued through the use of multiple simulations. Neo, of course, chooses the red pill, and Bugs' crew begins the extraction process. On the computer monitors, you can see the maps of the secret location where Neo's body is located, but soon the red pills notice that something is off. Something is interfering with Neo's code, a defense mechanism. Thomas looks into the floor mirror and it begins to distort, a clear callback to the first film when Neo touches the mirror after taking the red pill. It's also another reference to the classic story, Alice Through the Looking Glass. In the first movie, after Neo touches the mirror, it causes him to go into a state of panic, since the mirror turns into a liquid substance that grafts onto Neo's skin and spreads all over his body. But this time the mirror turns into a portal to none other than Thomas's therapist's house. The analyst most likely installed a failsafe into Thomas's residual self-image that notifies him every time Tom does something that he shouldn't be doing. The analyst was surprised to see Tom in the mirror.
Thomas? Oh, God. Oh, no.
As you may know, the name Thomas comes from one of Jesus' disciples, the one who doubted his resurrection. Neo saying God is appropriate here, since the analyst is the god of this simulation. It's a clever play on words that carries a dark meaning. The analyst grabs Thomas by the hand and tries to convince him that nothing he is experiencing at the moment is real.
None of this is real. You are in the midst of a serious psychotic break. Feel my hand. This is what is real.
He tries to force Neo into his side of the mirror, while the red pills try to disconnect him from the Matrix. Then the police breach the theater. On the surface, this scene seems like a typical action scene between two factions, but it's more than that. The red pill is the door Thomas must go through to find enlightenment, so he once again chooses to learn the truth, and the system doesn't want him to know the truth. It wants to drag Neo deeper in and force him to stay. The system is desperately trying to convince him that he is crazy. This is the moment when a person awakens to the reality of their society and decides to follow a new path. Still, their friends, family, and mental health professionals question their mental state in an attempt to keep them part of the system. A person who decides to wake up from an oppressive system is exposed to said system, and thus everyone tries to convince the person that they are crazy. The red pill represents those who are willing to help and those who fight against the system. Back to the movie. Bullets begin to fly all over the theater, and the portal between the analyst and Thomas is broken. The red pills escape through the door that brought Neo and Bugs to the theater. They are back on the train in Tokyo. An agent fires a rocket at the red pills, and it follows them through the door and impacts the train. The people on the train panic, and then something strange starts to happen to them. Their eyes turn green with the Matrix code, and they go on a rampage. The bots on the train are activated. They are the new version of the agents, and they are now attacking the red pills. Neo is feeling a bit strange. His connection to the Matrix is closing. The red pills fight off the bots. Seek leads them to the only exit on the train, a small mirror in the train's restroom. Neo is shoved through the mirror, and he finally escapes to the real world. For for the second time. Yet Neo doesn't awaken in a random harvest field. The location where he is in is grand and isolated, with only 2 pods, his and someone else's. The alarms go off, and Neo is rescued by 2 machines. As Neo is being carried away, he sees who's inside the other pod. It's Trinity. Neo is flown out of the giant structure where he was imprisoned, and outside we can see the human harvest fields, confirming that humanity is still trapped in the Matrix. The horrific imagery of waking up to the real world in the first film is still here. Neo changed nothing. Then a ship arrives to pick up Neo and the machines. There he is greeted by the captain of the ship.
Welcome to the real world.
Welcome back to the real world.
Now, just like the first film, Neo is having issues accepting the real world. His vital signs weaken. This happens because Neo's brain has become dependent on the Matrix, just like a junkie breaking his addiction. You can't just pull the blinds off someone's entire life and reality and show them it was all a lie and expect them to accept it immediately and without resistance. The existential shock could make anyone catatonic. The mind and body's rejection of the real world, which we see in Neo, can be interpreted as something philosophical. It is the moment when a person who has been the victim of a lie, who has been controlled by a system of oppression, discovers the truth and falls into an existential void that can take them to the brink of a mental breakdown. There are mental health experts dedicated to helping victims of psychological and mental torment caused by evil systems, such as religious cults. It's very difficult to heal a person's broken mental state, even after said person managed to escape or take the red pill. Sometimes it's just impossible. The mind is too far gone to be saved. Countless victims have been subjected to dangerous ideologies, some for years, others their entire lives. The manipulation is so entrenched in the psyche that a person loses all semblance of individuality. They identify as being part of the system, and if they were to abandon it, they will lose everything. Neo is again experiencing this existential loss of identity. Although he is the one, Neo isn't beyond experiencing the agony of depression when realizing that he has been lied to again. Next time, Neo relearns Kung Fu. For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the desert of the real.